number one thing stopping people from starting on Amazon is not knowing what it actually costs. Nobody gives you a straight answer. So today, I'm gonna give you the real number, line by line, instead of some guru fantasy number. And I can give you that number with a straight face because I started this exact business with $2,500 and turned it into over 50 million in sales. I've also talked to over 750 Amazon sellers at this point. So I've seen every version of a starting budget, the smart ones and the painful ones. And here's what all those conversations taught me. The people who fail early, it's almost never because they didn't have enough money. It's because they spent it on the wrong stuff. And there's one expense out there, and it's usually the biggest check that a beginner ever writes that gets you absolutely nothing. It costs you more than everything you actually need combined. And I keep meeting people who already paid it before they ever talk to me. Before this video is over, I'm gonna show you exactly what it is. But before I can show you the trap, you have got to see why such a simple question got so complicated in the first place. Here's the deal. You can't get a straight answer on this because the confusion makes people money. The confusion is the product. Type in, how much does it cost to start Amazon FBA into YouTube? And you get two kinds of videos. On one side, people telling you could start with just $100 or some change. And look, technically, you could open a seller account and flip a couple clearance items with some pocket money. Sure, but that's not a business. That's a science experiment. That tiny number exists for one reason, to get you excited enough to buy something. On the other side, you got people throwing out huge, scary numbers. Why? Because they want to sell you a $15,000 or $20,000 done-for-you Amazon store. That pitch only works if starting on your own sounds impossible and scary. So on one side, shrink the number to hook you. On the other side, blow it up to scare you. Both of them are selling. The real answer, 5 buckets. That's it. Every bucket has a job. And the first one is gonna surprise you because it's the cheapest thing on the whole list. And it decides whether Amazon even lets you compete to begin with. Check this out. There's a $40 decision right at the start of this business that knocks out a whole bunch of new sellers before they even get going. And most of them never find out that it happened. That bucket number one is your Amazon seller account. You want a professional plan. It's $39 a month. And listen, do not cheap out and take the individual plan instead. Here's why. The professional plan is what makes you eligible to win the buy box. And in wholesale, the buy box is where basically all your sales come from. So if you skip the $40, you're playing a game you're not allowed to score. Cheapest bucket on the list, biggest consequences. Bucket number two, your business setup. That's your LLC and your resale certificate. The LLC depends on your state, anywhere from like $50 to a few hundred. The resale certificate is what lets you buy from brands and distributors without paying any sales tax because you're reselling. Most states that costs you little to nothing. And here's what people don't get about this bucket. When you approach a brand, you're showing up as a real registered business, not some random person with a Gmail address. Remember that, because it's gonna matter big when we talk about how brands pick who they work with. Bucket number three, the tools. Everyone thinks this is where thousands of dollars go. Not even close. The number one tool in our business is called Smart Scout. It's $29 a month. That's how we find brands and products, and for me, it's a non-negotiable. Keeper is the other one you need. It shows you the whole sales history of any product on Amazon, so you never have to guess if something actually is selling. And that's basically it to start. Yes, there's fancier stuff out there like repricers that run you $40 a month, but don't buy them on day one. Add them after you start making some money. Your starting tools, under $100 a month total. Bucket number four, and this is a big one. Your first inventory order. Most of your startup money goes right here, and honestly, that's exactly how it should be. Your money is not going into marketing, advertising. It's not going into logo designers. It's not going to some agency. It's going into real products from real brands that people are already buying every single day. Your cash literally sits on Amazon shelves as inventory, and then it turns back into more cash. Sounds great, right? But here's the thing about Amazon that catches almost everyone off guard. Amazon does not pay you the second you make a sale. Payouts run on a cycle. So picture this. Your product is selling, you're winning, you need to reorder, and your money is stuck in a payout cycle. That right there is why bucket number 5 even exists. A cash buffer. It's a bucket everybody forgets. And it's the difference between your first 90 days feeling smooth and your first 90 days feeling like a panic attack. So that's the machine. Account, business setup, tools, inventory, buffer. And notice, no warehouse anywhere on that list. Amazon already has fulfillment centers. Prep centers do exist. You can use prep centers to handle the inventory for you and never have to touch a single box. Now, Add those 5 buckets up and you get a number. And I don't have to guess if this number is real because 6 years ago, that exact number was sitting in my bank account. Okay, so how much money do you actually need? I want to be crystal clear on this because no one ever commits to a real number. You need at least $2,500. That's the floor. Cash or credit, it doesn't matter. And that covers everything I just walked you through. Account, LLC, tools, your first inventory, all of it. 2,500, that's the exact number that I started with. And you already know where it ended up. So what does $2,500 actually get you? It gets you in the game for real. After your setup course, most of it goes into inventory on 1 or 2 proven products. Now, you're not getting rich off that first order, but that's fine because the first order has one job. Prove to yourself that this thing actually works. Then you roll every dollar of profit right back in. Is it tighter? Yeah. Every reorder decision matters, but it works. That was me. Now, $5,000, that's what I call comfortable. Same exact playbook, but now you can go deeper on your winners and you can reorder without sweating the payout cycle. And let me give you a rule to hold on to here. In this business, you either have more capital than products or you have more products than capital. That's it. At $2,500, you're gonna feel the ceiling fast. At $5,000, you got some breathing room. And breathing room matters because it allows you to make better decisions. And $10,000, the playbook doesn't change at 10 grand, but the speed changes. You're now running multiple products at once. You're placing bigger orders, and bigger orders start to get you better pricing from brands, which means fatter and more profitable margins. Same machine, more fuel. But hold on, notice what I did not say. I did not say that you need 10 grand to start. Pick the tier that matches your situation, not your ego. Starting at 2,500 and building your way up is a real path. I'm living proof. So are a lot of our students. Now, I already know some of you are thinking, man, Mar, other models make me start with way less. I hear you. Hold that thought and hold it tight because that $2,500 minimum is actually doing something for you that almost nobody notices. And it's the big reason our students see sales so damn fast. Now, real quick before I get into that, if you're sitting there running the math on your own situation right now, that's exactly what my free Amazon wholesale workshop is for. I walk you through this entire model live, way deeper than I can here. And you can ask me all your specific questions and numbers. Link in the description, costs you absolutely nothing. Grab your spot, then come right back because I still owe you 2 answers. What that $2,500 minimum is secretly doing for you, and that expense from the beginning, the one that gets you nothing. So let's talk about that $2,500. I know it feels like a lot when other models that you start with way less, but I'm telling you, that minimum is working for you, not against you. Let me prove it. Watch what happens to your dollar in each and every model. In dropshipping, your dollar goes into advertising. You hand it over to Facebook or TikTok, and if the ad doesn't convert, your dollar is gone forever. In private label, your dollar goes into a product that has never sold a single unit, and you're hoping strangers just want it. I played that game. I lost $5,000 in 60 days, gone. In wholesale, your dollar buys a product with a track record you can see. Before you spend a single thing, you pull up sales history and look exactly how many units it moves and what price, going back years. There's no bet here, guys. The demand is sitting right there in public, proven, before your first dollar ever leaves your bank account. So yeah, wholesale has a real minimum. And that minimum is a filter. The filter protects you in 2 ways. 1, it forces you to treat this like an actual business, not a lottery ticket. And 2, it keeps out the lottery ticket crowd you'd be competing against everywhere else. You see what happens when one of those start with lunch money things goes viral, right? A few million people jump in, everyone races the price to the bottom, and they all burn out in a month. This model attracts actual operators. And that's a big reason we expect our students to be making sales within 30 to 40 days of starting. Their money went into inventory that was already moving, not ads and not guesses. But listen, the minimum protects you from bad models, from the thing that takes out more beginners than anything else I talked about today. Remember that expense from the start of the video? The biggest check a beginner ever writes? The one that gets you nothing? It's time. The expense that gets you nothing is the done for you Amazon automation store. $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 for someone to run a store for you while you sit back and collect some passive income. I have students who came to me from those programs, and it's the same story every single time. Big check up front, tiny results, 0 skills. And when the thing falls apart, and it usually falls apart, they never even know how their own business works. That's literally what they paid for, to never have to learn anything. Think about it for a second. It costs more than every real bucket on my list combined. And what you're actually buying is being clueless about your own business. If someone's pitch is you never have to understand anything, freaking run. Now, that's the big trap, but it has two little cousins too. Cousin number one, the $5,000 mentorship. That's really just a folder of videos and a Facebook group. And listen, I believe in mentorship. I've personally spent around $400,000 on mentors over the years, and good guidance is a huge reason I was able to move as fast as I did. But paying for guidance is a choice to make you go faster. It's not a startup course. You need $2,500 to run this business with or without anyone's help. Full stop. Anybody who tells you different is lying to you. Cousin number two, the warehouse. I told you my story on this one already. 5-year lease, $20,000 a month, biggest mistake we ever made in this business. Amazon has fulfillment centers. Prep centers exist. Keep your fixed cost as near to zero as humanly possible. And everything else people dangle in front of you, ads, marketing, courses, hiring employees, fancy software bundles. Every dollar outside of those 5 buckets is a dollar that should have gone into inventory instead. So there's your real number. $2,500 minimum, $5,000 comfortable, $10,000 if you want speed. 5 buckets and every dollar has a job. Now you know something that most people never bother to figure out before they start, which means you're walking in like an operator, not a gambler. If you're ready to go all in on Amazon Wholesale, watch this video next. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. I actually read them and respond. I appreciate you for hanging out with me. I'll catch you on the next one. Later, guys.